I'm calling this meeting of the Town Council to order. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. The first item on the agenda is changes to the agenda. Do we have any changes?
No, sir.
There being no changes, we will go to the next item that requires addressing, and that's number 5, council comments. Councilor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, we're going to have a couple of places in the Capilla Park, and I'm going to ask for 3 flags for sure: American flag and the state flag, and I would like to have POW flag. That will happen here pretty soon. I have a question for Mr. Brown or for Mr. Marshall, or a comment. If it's possible to see if we can look into having some sort of drop or in concerning the people that used to be here in Silver. Just to see if we could have it done. Just an idea to see if it's possible.
Yeah, well, I'd be happy to talk to you if you can figure out exactly what you'd like to work on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Briefly, I think that there are decorations going up downtown, looking quite beautiful. I want to say that the Main Street volunteer team was out doing the regular annual downtown commercial building occupancy count, and we're pretty excited. It looks like it's gone up, so we're happy about that. But there will be a formal report from Main Street later on. And just in the same theme, I want to encourage everyone to make sure that they go downtown on Saturday the 24th and have a lot of fun and look at the store windows, and then stay for the Lion Christmas parade that evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Benson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to mention, after someone in my council district contacted me, there is, if people see hazardous medical waste, like a syringe or something that's on a sidewalk, or it's, in the grass or something like that, they can contact the town manager's office, Alex Brown, and there we do have a team that can go out and remove that, so that it doesn't get into the hands of children and anyone else, and dogs don't get stuck, but it's only for hazardous medical waste. And so they should contact Mr. Brown, and then he'll send out the group from the Silver City Fire Department. And that's the best way to do it. So they need to provide information on the exact location. A photo always helps, but if it's at a cross street, where it is in a, what 100th block or whatever, where it is exactly, so that the folks can go out there and be prepared and not themselves somehow get stuck by something that they're trying to retrieve or something like that. So just thought I would mention that, and that kind of goes along with the little mini report that the chief will give later, and just in terms of some of the issues that we've been having with drug houses and drug activity in town. And I'll let the chief do that on his report. But I just think it's really important. I had a citizen that was very concerned about a number of syringes that were where they were located. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Connor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This afternoon, myself, Mayor Ladner, and Town Manager Brown all attended a press conference that was held by Senator Jeff Steinborn from Las Cruces. His day job is actually the Southern New Mexico Director of the New Mexico Wildlife Alliance. And he was in Silver City to announce that the second annual Outdoor Economics Conference will be held in Silver City this year. Or actually, it'll be next year, but the next one will be here in Silver City. And it will be held on October 3rd and 4th, 2019. And so far, it's a partnership between the town of Silver City, Grant County, the Silver City Main Street Project, Grant County Chamber of Commerce, and Western Mexico University, working with the New Mexico Wildlife Alliance. And the hope is to bring in several hundred people to discuss outdoor economics and to help advance the economic development strategies and opportunities connected to protected public lands in New Mexico. And this is a huge opportunity for Silver City, and it's also a chance for us to showcase just how special our area of the state is. So over the next few months, several of us will be involved with getting that conference together and helping with the planning and things. So if anyone's interested, you can already check out their website, and it's www.outdooreconomicsnm.com. And if you have any questions, you can also contact myself or Mayor Ladner or Manager Brown, or actually Councilor Ray as well. He knows a lot about what's going on. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councilor Ray?
Thank you. Mr. Portillo, Chief Portillo, just to let you know that I think we have a few people that are going to be on the lighted parade on the side-by-sides. And I did ask them to trailer it up to La Capilla, and we'll go down Cooper Street, and then back around, and then back up on Cooper Street to the Capilla, and then take it out. And I want to thank Mr. Brown and Mr. Marshall and you, Chief, for allowing us to do it. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'd like to point out that it was about a year ago when Councilor Cano and Councilor Ray gave us a report because they attended the first Outdoor Economic Conference, which was in Las Cruces. And so their excitement and their enthusiasm kind of rubbed off on a lot of people, and so thank you for your initiative on that. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the October 23, 2018 regular meeting. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilwoman Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting of the town of Silver City of October 23rd, 2018.
Is there a second? Councilor Edison?
Mr. Mayor, second the motion as stated.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is public input, and I see that one person signed up, Mr. John Alvarez. Mr. Alvarez, would you come forward and address the council?
Thank you, Mayor. My name is John Alvarez, and I'm originally from Denver, New Mexico, and as a child moved up to Bisbee, Arizona with my dad and mom. He was a hard rock miner, and that made me a hard rock miner. I've mined for 27 years in the underground mines of Arizona and Indonesia and all different places. I sustained a brain injury, and my wife that I married is from South Dakota, so that's why I ended up there in South Dakota. I needed a purpose in life, though, because I was going to the brain injury support group, and in order to have a purpose in life, I opened up a fishing pond for the brain injury survivors, children with special needs in the elderly. I did it for 16 years. 2018, I clogged it up to come to Silver City. Moving to Silver City, I have a great loss of independence. There's no transportation, there's no taxis, the bus is always full, and I find myself kind of lost here in Silver City because I can't get no place. I was gonna call the mayor to give me a ride someplace, but he's busy. I don't know these guys, but they're busy. I wore out my neighbor, and everybody's telling me they have to work. Well, I'm not working. I put my years in. With the brain injury, I was kind of early retirement, call it. But in South Dakota, like I said, I had better independence, and I went to four-wheel drive, three. One was a golf cart, and I put over 300,000 miles on the vehicles, and I didn't have no accidents. It's not that I was lucky, I just obeyed the law and didn't get crazy. And that's the way it should be here with the four-wheel drives, not just for me. There's a lot of four-wheel drives that they too would like to come down to Silver City, fill up their gas tanks, and then travel or go to eat someplace, take their wife to eat the show or something or other. I noticed there's an electric vehicle out there. I always thought it was a golf cart. So I checked on golf carts, and I found a perfect golf cart for me. But it's illegal to drive it. So, I guess, who owns that, please? So that's what I have to do, is drive one of those to be legal? Question?
Mr. Alvarez, our ordinance, during the public input section, we just take in public input.
Oh, okay, I don't know. That's,
No problem, yeah.
okay, so anyway, I'll keep continuing here real quick. I really wish that you recommend, I really wish you guys, or everybody would reconsider of approving the utility vehicles for those that have them. If there's three legal in the city, in the city limits of Silver City, I enjoy golfing. I enjoy going to the university here for many reasons, and it's very difficult for me to do that. I have a damaged nerve on my leg, so I can't walk that far. And that's another thing. I mean, I tried walking from my house to Silver City, and that's, there's dangers out there. They thought I was a deer and they were trying to kill me. Anyway, no, you don't want to walk in little on it. So that's about the only thing I have, except that I feel that there will be, I'm the first one. I have 20 people that want to come over and express their feelings. They're probably not like mine. They might have different expressions to try and get this on the ball, to vote on it again. Hopefully it works. But one thing I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Appreciate it.
I just push the button.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is reports. Chief Portillo, you have a report for us?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give a short report. I understand there's some concerned citizens with certain areas within Silver City with drug activity. I'm very limited to what I can give, but I can tell you that down at the police department, each division, we are brainstorming, being more creative on how we can impact these areas and these issues. We have reached out to other agencies. We already are working with other agencies besides the drug task force that we talked about before. It's going to take some time, but we do have the ball rolling. We are working on it. We do have certain plans in place. I do want to ask the public, I understand that the hesitation should come forward. But that's how we're going to resolve these issues, with working with the public, and that's what our drive is, to gain that public trust. And you don't always have to report it to Central Dispatch. You can always call down to the Silver City Police Department at 575-538-3723, and you can remain anonymous. They're not recorded lines. So there's one avenue that you can take if you'd like, instead of calling Central Dispatch. I'll give you Central Dispatch's number at 388-8840. But again, a reminder, you can always contact even an officer personally if you know him to give us information. Tips are really, really critical and solving these problems. So again, we are working on it. I just want the public to be aware of that. And any information that you have, please come forward. Thank you.
Any questions for the chief? Councilor Ray?
I don't know, because I just have a comment for you. If you recall, about 2 years ago, I had a little bit of a problem. I came and talked to you about it. And it was one of my people was renting from me. And we had some certain information I finally came through and talked about it, and they got on the ball. And I want to thank you for that too.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Chief. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. Item 10A is the approval/disapproval of ordinance number 1274, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2, Elections, Section 2-21, Title, and Section 2-21A and B, Section 2-24, Qualifications of Elected Officials, Section 2-25, Vacancies, and new Section 2-29, Amendments of the Municipal Code of the Town of Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico. Mr. Marshall, I think you're...
Mr. Scaveron's going to go ahead and go over some of the changes since you've seen it last.
Okay.
We'll keep it short.
Mr. Scarborough? And I have Mr. Marshall for this.
So did I, but thanks,
Okay.
Tony.
Mr. Scarborough?
You have me now. In the last session of the legislature, effective July 1, was a piece of legislation called the Local Election Act. When that was enacted, it repealed a document or a legislation called the Municipal Election Code. It was a state municipal election code, and that was the code that the town had adopted for its own election code. So with the demise of the municipal election code, the town under its charter has the power to create or adopt its own election code under our charter. So what we are proposing is that the town adopt the local election code, which was part of the Local Election Act, and we've made certain changes in it that would have the Local Election Act be harmonious with the time-honored precedents set by the town's elections for the past decades. So this is a good attempt at marrying the traditions of the town's elections with the Local Election Act. The most prominent within that is that we are keeping our elections annually. The terms of the councilors will remain staggered. The public will see no difference in elections from year to year. And where there have been provisions in the Local Election Act that are more efficient and effective for the conduct of elections, we've adopted them. You can see by the red lining, we've cut out a lot of provisions that are duplicative. There's nothing really material in the change from the original NOI that you saw to the present one. but it did require a lot of reformatting, a lot of analysis of what was already covered in the Local Election Act that we didn't need to repeat. So there's two sets of modifications. One set is directly to the municipal code, and the other set is are modifications to the Local Election Act code. And with that, any questions? Otherwise, to be quick, we can vote on it.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor Kyle?
I move to approve ordinance number 1274, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2, Elections, Section 2-21, Title, and Section 2-21, AB, Section 2-24, Qualifications of Elected Officials, Section 2-25, Vacancies, and new Section 2-29, Amendments of the Municipal Code of the Town of Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I second the motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from the general public? Any discussion? Roll call, please, Ann.
Councilor Kano?
Aye.
Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Amon Smith?
Aye.
Councilor Edison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Your Honor, Mr. Mayor, I would like to mention one thing. The amount of work that, this is a 200-page bill, and the majority of the heavy lifting was done by our town clerk, who did an incredible job of putting this together. And I want the record to give her the kudos that she deserves.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is new business. 11A is the approval/disapproval of two public celebration permit applications and a waiver of NMSA 1978, Section 60-6B-10 for alcohol sales near a church for the annual Friends of Power and Light Press Holiday Market on December 6, 2018 at 601 North Bullitt Street, Silver City, New Mexico, with alcohol service from 4 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Liquor license holder, Little Toad Creek, LLC, DBA, Little Toad Creek Distillery, number 63013, and DBA, Little Toad Creek Brewery, number 67085, 203 South Mill Road, Silver City, New Mexico. Teresa, do you have a presentation for us?
Hello, Mr. Mayor and councilors. Thank you for considering this. Jamie with Power and Light Press is actually on her way. She had a little mix-up about what time, so she will also be here if that's, if you need her to be here to speak about this as well. She'll be here any minute. Power and Light Press is a wonderful new business downtown. They're not new downtown, but they're in a new space, the hub, and they've been doing a great job of doing community outreach and bringing the community together. This event is going to be their first presentation of the market idea for the holidays, and we had a good conversation about how they wanted to structure it. They're inviting a lot of other vendors to come and be present at this market. It just sounds like a lovely idea and sort of a celebration of the holidays, as well as a market, an opportunity for vendors to sell their wares, crafts, etc. So we thought it would be a fun opportunity to bring beer and spirits out and help add to the celebration. It's all taking place within the building of the Power and Light Press, which is it's an indoor event.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Thank you. Any questions or comments from the general public? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve of 2 public celebration permit applications and a waiver of NMSA 1978 Section 60-6B-10 for alcohol sales near a church for the annual Friends of Power and Light Press Holiday Market on December 6, 2018 at 601 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico, with alcohol service from 4 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Liquor license holder, Little Toad Creek LLC, DBA Little Toad Creek Distillery, number 63013, and DBA Little Toad Creek Brewery, number 67085, 203 South Mill Road, Silver City, New Mexico.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Khanna?
I'll second that motion as stated.
Do you have a motion and a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item is agenda item 11B, the approval/disapproval of notice of intent ordinance number 1275, an ordinance amending the municipal code of the town of Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico, Chapter 50, New Mexico Uniform Traffic Code Adoption, Sections 50-1 and 50-2, and a new section 50-3, a superseding amendment. Mr. Scarborough, I have you for this?
Yes.
Some time ago, the town adopted the Uniform Traffic Ordinance. The Uniform Traffic Ordinance is a document that's prepared by the New Mexico Municipal League that basically reflects the state code. And what they do is they're telling municipalities, if you want to use a ready-made ordinance that reflects the state traffic code, you can use this uniform traffic ordinance provided by the Municipal League. Well, we've adopted it, and over the years, there's part of the adoption was, and as later may be amended. So every year, when the new one comes out, it basically supersedes everything that existed before it, and it basically repeals things that aren't found within it, within that new code. And this year, looking at it, the fact, we have a few local amendments that were impliedly repealed by it. One of them was, we have, in the Uniform Traffic Ordinance, you have to park within 18 inches of a curb. But in Silver City, we have different circumstances. We have curbs that are 1.5 feet tall, and you wouldn't be able to open the door if you park that close. We also have a traffic safety fee that we use for traffic safety education. That's a $3 fee. And they also have a provision in the Uniform Traffic Ordinance that allows the municipal judge to put people in jail for 90 days for a traffic offense. And it's not limited to DWIs, it's for any traffic offense. And some time ago, the town's policy was that not to put people in jail for traffic offenses like that were not DWIs. So the main thing that was kind of shocking was that the state apparently lowered all the fines for everything, from $60 to $25, and some situations $15, including in these drop in fines and penalties was speeding, seatbelt, open alcoholic containers, and a whole slew of others. So we've had some input, and the suggestion, which I agree with, and I put it to you to see if you agree with, is that we keep the fines, keep everything the way it was in 2017, and not adopt the new penalty assessment code that is provided in the 2018 USC. Further, I'm not including language as may be further amended. I think that every year we should look at what the state's doing and decide whether one size fits all or whether we should take into consideration the specific needs of the town. So with that, I'll take any questions that you have.
Any questions?
Mayor and Council, I just want to let you know that we did send the UTO, the proposed UTO, to the local municipal judge to get her input as well. So what we brought to you was with her input.
Councilor Benison?
So one of the things that we do have is also the cell phone, so that we retained our cell phone.
That is correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was one of the things that you didn't speak to.
No, Councilor Ray's cell phone ban is part of the NOI. We're including that. So everything, all the amendments that we did locally are being preserved, every one of them.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Of Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve of notice of intent, ordinance number 1275, an ordinance amending the municipal code of the town of Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico, Chapter 50, New Mexico Uniform Code Adoption, Sections 50-1, 50-2, and a new Section 50-3, superseding amendments.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor Benison?
I second the motion as stated.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next agenda item is 11C, the approval/disapproval of the destruction of records from the executive, finance, municipal court, public library, recreation center, and utility departments. Quantity 93 boxes. Ms. Mackey?
Yes, Mayor and Council, our departments have a total quantity of 93 boxes that we'd like to get your approval to destroy. We would be using a bonded vendor to do that destruction. And all of the department heads have signed an affidavit saying that their particular quantity of boxes do not include any records pertaining to opioids, because those types of records are on hold with the New Mexico Attorney General's office.
Any questions for Ms. Mackey? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Benison?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve of the destruction of records from the executive, finance, municipal court, public library, recreation center, and utilities department, quantity 93 boxes.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Councilman Smith?
Mr. Mayor, I second the motion as stated.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The last item on the agenda is the appointments to the Municipal Museum Community Advisory Group. We have received several applications. The one application that we are recommending is to appoint Pauline Gomez to the Municipal Museum Community Advisory Group. She was recommended by the director of the museum. Unless I hear any objections, I would like to so appoint her.
Objection.
She is so appointed. This concludes the business of the town of Silver City. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Smith.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are hereby adjourned.